Welcome back, guys. This morning I'm going to be canning some mince meat. This is minced lamb. You may know it as hamburger. I've also got a load of minced beef to do as well. Now I've just got it in this cast iron pan. I'm only going to cook it about halfway because it will get finished cooking when it's in the pressure canner. I do cook the mince. It's the only meat that I do cook. When I'm canning chicken or beef or even a leg of lamb, I don't cook those. I will put them in raw. But I find that with the mince meat, if you don't cook it at least halfway, it sort of like clumps up. And with the cooking, it just gives it a better texture. I like it much better that way anyway. So here I've got a few spices that I like. Just use whatever you like. I've got some carrots. I went out to the garden and I picked some onion scapes, and I've chopped them up in there too. So I've got onions as well. And like I said, any herbs or spices that you like, and just cook it halfway. So my lamb's done, and I've just got the beef mince ready to cook up now. I'll be adding some more spices to this. Now this is great to have put away for so many different recipes. The thing I love making with this is hamburger soup. If you haven't had hamburger soup, look it up and have a go, because it's really delicious. And for a quick meal, when we're out a lot and we come home and you're too tired to start cooking, opening up a jar of this, and I can make just so many things with it, and it doesn't take that long. It's the beauty of canning. I absolutely love it. And with the prices going up now, get it while it's cheap, because from what I've read last night, beef is going to skyrocket. So I've finished cooking up the meat, and now I had to clean my cast iron pan. Now you do not wash it in soapy water. All I did was I rinsed it out in hot water. I used a sponge, not a scourer, just a sponge, just to get the bits off. Now I've applied some oil to it, and that will stop it from rusting. Now if your pan is seasoned well, nothing will stick to it. There, give it a good wipe over like that. So nothing will stick to it. So I absolutely love using them. They last longer than we will. Last a lifetime. Okay, so I've started filling my jars. I thought I'd do it off camera because it is a bit messy. My funnel over there doesn't really fit these jars, so I've got to do it with a spoon, but that's all right. Now, I just wanted to show you 1 inch headspace, just there, and wipe your rims with vinegar, and then put your caps on and into the pressure canner. This needs to be pressure canned, okay? So this is the lamb I'm doing first, and then I'll get the beef done. I'm not sure if I'll get 10 jars, but I can always throw in some beans and can some of those up as well, because they go for the same time. If you've got things that go for the same time, you can add them and just to fill up your canner. Now I also wanted to mention that I'm not using any liquid in this jar. So the meat's being cooked and it's going straight into the jar. It's only half cooked, so it will make a little bit of its own juice, but it may not make enough to cover right up to the top. Now some people don't like it because it can discolor. That doesn't really bother me, right? You can add some bone broth. Some people just add water, but you can add some bone broth, whether it's the packet bone broth from the shop, or if you make your own, even better. I made a batch a couple of days ago, but we drank it. It was so delicious. We drank it. I call that my natural Botox. Oh, it's so good for you, honestly. So, yeah, so no liquid in this, and I love the flavour, the taste, the way it is. I think with the water, unless you put a stock cube in there, and if you haven't seasoned it, it just tends to be a little bit bland, but you can fix that once you go and cook it with something, whatever you're making, and then put your seasoning in then. I got 5.5 jars with the mince meat. Now I've made up a sauce there, and I have filled the rest of the jar with sauce, and it'll be just like a bolognese. So for the other 4 jars, I've got some chickpeas in there, and I'm going to fill them up with the sauce. You can use water or you can use a broth. Now, all I did was measure out half a cup of the chickpeas, because these are pint jars, and I sifted through them. And if you find anything that looks like these, you know, just discard them and give the peas a bit of a rinse out, put them in your jar, and then just add the sauce. So these will go for the same time, 75 minutes in the canner, and I'll bring you back when they're done. Okay, so all the jars are in the canner, and I added 3 quarts of water and a splash of vinegar. Now I vented the canner for 10 minutes once it started boiling, and then I put on my jiggler. This little button here, the nipple, that's also popped up. That indicates that there is pressure in the canner. So now we're slowly bringing it up to pressure. Now for my elevation, that's between 10 and 11 pounds. And once it reaches 10 to 11 pounds, I will time 75 minutes. These are pints, so 75 minutes. So here are the jars, and they're still bubbling away beautifully. They look really good. And the chickpeas with the sauce there, lovely. So these will now sit on the counter until tomorrow morning. Then I'll give them a bit of a wash and put them away on my shelf. And I'm really pleased that I've got more protein put away with all the prices that are going up at the moment.